People often ask me when they should consider moving from a sole trader to a company or trust business structure. I'm Tim Mackay, business advisor and consultant, and I've been doing that for 18 years now. In order to answer this question, we should be looking at a few different things. The first of which might be your income. So if you're generating income as a sole trader of in excess of 150,000, say, you might look at that and go, well, Tim, I only really need 80,000 a year to live on. And in fact, the additional 70, I really need to reinvest that into the business to propel it to the next stage of growth. Well, then we look at that and we say, well, okay, we could change the structure of the business from a sole trader to, say, a company. And when we're in a company structure, we can decide what comes out to the people working in it, the owners, as either dividends or wages, and the rest can be left in the business and reinvested in the business, paying tax on that company tax rates, which for small businesses in Australia at the moment is 25%. So the other thing we will look at, which is an important thing that a lot of business owners don't consider, is the risk that is associated with their business. So, for example, you might work in the trades, in construction, and you're on the tools, and as a sole trader, you work out that you can't have work cover for yourself, but you're worried about the fact that you could get injured on site. Well, as a sole trader, the only thing you can do to mitigate that risk is have some personal risk insurance in place. Now, if you don't have personal risk insurance in place and you get injured or worse, then there will be nothing for you or your family, and that's a really unfortunate situation to be in. The alternative is that we change your business structure into a trust or a company and actually put you on as an employee of that entity. That way you can be covered by work cover, and for some people that's a really big deal, just having that security blanket, just so that if something was to happen, there's some insurance there for them. Another thing is that sole traders or partners of a partnership, individual partners of a partnership, are personally liable for the debts of a company. So what's the risk here? Well, you might have a customer that is one of your biggest customers, and they go into liquidation and can't afford to pay you, and that means that you can't afford to pay your taxes or your suppliers or employees. And if that happens and you're a sole trader, then you will be held personally liable. So if you've got a house, then that house is on the line. If you've got shares, those shares are at risk. So it's really important that people consider this, because if they've worked hard for everything they've got, and if one thing happens in their business, because businesses are inherently a little bit risky, there's always risk in every business, then knowing that as a sole trader or individual partners of a partnership, you can be personally sued if things don't go right in your business, is a really important thing to know. And so in thinking about whether or not there are risks inherent in your business that you want to sort of distance yourself from, just in case, as an added form of insurance, then we look at separating the owner from the business. And we can do that in a couple of different ways, but primarily we need to have a company in place, and that company can either be the business or can act as the trustee of a family trust that runs the business, or a unit trust, or other different trusts. So these are all important considerations, and so you can see it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3 as to whether or not you go from a sole trader and switch, but I can tell you that once you work through these things, more often than not, even if your income isn't at a level that makes sense from a tax perspective to change, there are other things that might be at play in your business that might mean that it makes a lot of sense to move your trading structure into a company or a trust. Follow and like for more, and if you have any questions about your business structure, just reach out and we can have a chat.